Hi, today I'm gonna be going over my beach amplifier for endurance. This amplifier has two spawns, one here on the east side, some spawn here and others here, and then there's another one on the south. We'll start with this one first. As you can see, I'm blocking off all this natural tunnel that leads to the amp. And I'm blocking this natural ramp here, so all the heads are gonna, when they spawn down here, and here and there, they are all gonna come inside here, hit by all the angles as usual, and then they try to come up this way, but we have these ceiling drop traps, and the ceiling drop traps are gonna push them inside this little kill chamber again, over and over until they are immune to any more impact. Then, if they didn't die, they just come inside this tunnel. They get hit by a bunch of wall darts, the usual dynamos. Then there's a bunch of ceiling electric fields. Then they get here and straight to the amp. Then the wall dart should finish it off, and it has that makes it here. Then for the other side, most of the hats spawn on this side, and a few are gonna spawn around here. But like 90% of the hats should spawn in this side. Here we're blocking off the natural ramp that leads to the amp, and we're just pathing them this way. They can fall here, or they can walk into this floor. Here they get hit by a sandwall first, and then pushed by two wall launchers into the pit. Then here we have more ceiling drop traps. Those are gonna hold the hats in here, getting hit by broadside. And there's a lava bomb that can land here. So while they're stunned by the tires, the lava bomb should finish off any hats that's standing still here. Then if any didn't get pushed by the wall launchers, are gonna get pushed by these ones. Or just killed by all the traps and the wall darts. Now, once they fall down, here what we're doing is making them walk all the way to this natural ramp. And what I'm doing here is killing them just while they're trying to go up. I am going back inside the tunnel once again. Then they go all the way back up to here, and repeating the cycle. Now for the Blockoff, I'm gonna start inside the tunnel. Here we have two edited cones, just like this. Then surrounded by walls. Then another cone. Then one wall. Then another edited cone like that. Then one half floor below that. Then we have three edited pyramids, two like this, and two with just one corner edited. And all of those surrounded by walls. Just like that. Then towards the other side, that's just one wall, edited pyramid, one wall, edited pyramid, another wall, and a pyramid surrounded by walls. And then one pointed this way, surrounded by walls. Here I'm actually using one floor that's acting as Blockoff. Then another pyramid that way, And here just one wall that are shooting through a window. Then here the same, I'm using just one floor acting as Blockoff and one pyramid acting as Blockoff. And we have the two wall darts shooting through windows. Then we come down to this natural ramp. This one just has two floors, two edited pyramids, and surrounded by walls, just like that. Then we come down here. This is just for assassins, because most of the houses spawn here, below. So when they're trying to go to my AFK spot, that's over there. Sometimes assassins are gonna try to punch through this blocker. So I'm just using triple impact, double reload, and here's attached wall launchers. And then this wall dart and two ceiling gas traps should kill any assassin that's trying to punch. Others are just gonna try to come this way inside my valley tunnel, and they just die inside the damage tunnel. But most should die here. Then we have these two walls that seem like they are not doing anything, but it's actually for flingers. If you don't have them, flingers can come to this spot and throw from there. But these two walls just prevent them from happening. And it saves you from having to build a massive lower shield on this side. You don't need anything here. Then to follow the Blockoff, we're just surrounding this whole natural terrain, just all the way with walls until the end ends. This is because when the husk come up the ramp, they can either go that way, or they could just try to break through. Like they could try to break through here. And I want them to pass inside that tunnel instead. So to continue with this Blockoff for this side, just floors all around here. These walls are just for the wall darts. And this one is more Blockoff, just in case any smasher tries to come here, the wall blocks them. And that should be it for the Blockoff for the south side. Then for the other side, it's pretty simple. We should have, here we have this natural ramp, so we're blocking it with 3 walls here, 1 wall here, because without, they can actually climb up here and start breaking. Then the 3 floors, 3 edited pyramids, all surrounded by walls, 3 more edited pyramids, and 1 last one here on this corner. Then we come to this other ramp, and we just place floors and pyramids on top of all the floors. Then once we get here, just 2 walls here and 3 walls. This was just for the kill spawn in the ramp amplifier. Then we have this. This is mostly just to make this lava bomb shift more stable, same as this tile. We don't have anything here. And then to build this other side, this is all being held just by this 1 floor here. Then this ramp, and nothing else is holding that. Just everything is holding on 1 floor. Then here, closer to the amp, these 2 walls I already mentioned on my ramp amplifier, but just in case. These are also acting as Blockoff for any cast that comes from that spawn. So this one, I already mentioned them, but triple impact, double reload, and heals attached. Then we get to the exam, and this is the dancer for the miniboss. This is just these two walls, and this last one. And what this does is the miniboss comes this way and starts standing here, back and forth, for the whole way, without doing anything else. Sometimes the miniboss can teleport to other locations. For example, it can teleport inside this cone, and it doesn't do anything else. And sometimes it can teleport inside one of these two. That's why these are edited like this and not this other way, because they can actually just teleport on top of this and climb inside the tunnel again and start dancing once more. Then for lovers and for flingers, we have obviously a lot of lover shield. It starts here with these two walls, and then it's floors covering everything here, covering the whole pit. Up to here we only have one floor after this natural terrain, and here we start ramping up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This should cover any fingers that are below there and standing inside on top of this. Then here it was just 1 and 2 up. We place 5 floors. It's just a bit extra for anyone that's standing over here. And these 4 are just holding the tire traps. Then we have gone 1 up. On this one, we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we leave it. And then we have all of these with the ceiling electric fields. Like that. Here you don't need anything because it's blocked. Then it turns into 3 white. And then when we got to the end of this, just 1 and 2. Then from here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Basically covering all the places that any flinger could stand. Like from here, everything is covered. And the limits of these are just gonna be the natural walls, the walls we placed before. So everything above that it's protected by a lower shield. Now we can start with the trap perks. Here, this one is actually just optional. You could add the same on this other two. This is just a healing wall spike with any perk here, and then you just need heals attached. It's optional just in case you are standing on that side of the map for some reason. And that way, if any assassin is trying to punch here, this would kill them and kill the walls. But if you plan to just stand in the AFK spot, you can just remove it. Then these 2 walls, wooden floor spikes. These ones I don't actually want to have high damage because I don't want any propanes to explode on this floating structure. So I'm using pretty low level, just triple durability and no damage here. You could use, for example, the same I mentioned in Devil West, just all durability, no damage, and heals attached, but it's pretty much the same. It's not much damage different. Then this first sound wall, I'm using with double reload and for durability. And these 2 wall launchers are gonna be for durability and double reload. This should launch most of the health into the pit. And then when we get here, these 2 sound walls are gonna be with for durability and to reload. And this dynamo is gonna be just with double crit damage, like this, creating double crit damage and damage. Since this is just to finish off any health that comes out alive of this damage tunnel. You can actually just replace this angle on this side, this one, with another dynamo with the reload instead of double crit damage. I was using a Sunwall before, just in case any propane survived this tunnel, but from testing I haven't seen more than one in at least 10 runs, so better to just have an extra dynamo instead. And then the wooden floor spikes, other than those two, all the others are gonna be the regular crit build. So just creating double crit damage, damage and durability, or you could use heals attached instead of durability. It's optional. Then for these 4 broadsides, I'm using them all with a reload. These ones, creating crit damage, damage and reload, just because it's pretty much at the beginning. So it's gonna be hitting a lot of has. You could also just replace 1 or 2 with double crit damage if you want the reloads to be different, but I'm just using them all with reload. Then for these ones and for the other ceiling drop straps on the other side, I'm just using with 3 durability and 2 reload speed. This is just to hold them here while all the other traps are killing them, and the lava oven can kill them too. You could also just replace the broadsides with wall darts if you want, but I like seeing them just get staggered from the tire traps and the cannonballs all the time. Then for the wall darts, I'm using the same as on all the other amplifiers, just crit rating, double crit damage and damage. Then for these other 2 wall launchers, the same as the floating build, just for the ability and double reload. But once we get to this spot, I'm just using with triple impact, double reload, since only like smashers should make it to this tile. And in case any other smasher made it to the end without dying, I'm using a wall light to definitely knock them inside the pit with triple impact, double reload, and effect duration. They usually charge from here at that wall. The tar pit stops them, and the wall light is gonna push them below. The tar pit can be anything, since it shouldn't be used more than a few times, but I'm using the usual all durability. Then we have at the end just these 3 ceiling sappers. All the ceiling sappers are the crit build. Just damage, double crit damage and crit rating. Then all those boulders are the same perks as we said. You can add some ceiling electric fields here if you want, if you ever have any problems, but they were never used when I checked them, so none of the hazards were making it out of the tunnel, so I just removed them for more tiles. Then for the retractables, the same as usual, rating, double crit damage and damage. Just after this they are still slowed, and well, they just finish off any cat that makes it out. Then here we have this edited low wall, just so this dart can still shoot up to here. And this one, since it's at the end for anything that made it out, it's just gonna be redirecting double crit damage and damage. Again, same as most of the other amplifiers, I'm using nature traps, but well, as usual, you could use energy I'm just using nature to do extra damage on ways 21 and 26. So up to you. This one doesn't have any reload because it's at the end. Then, as you can see here, we have a lot of these dynamos. And here, since they are on the same tile, on all of them, on one side I'm using with double crit damage, same as this one. And on the other side I'm using with a reload. It could be these ones, crit rating, crit damage, and reload speed. Just that way, if one has activates all of them, then the reloads would be different on one and the other side. Then here the same, one with the reload and one with crit damage. And this one is at the beginning, and this one too by themselves, so they have a reload instead of double crit damage. Here, this wall launcher, you can make it either with triple impact, or you could use 4 impact. With triple impact, they would land about here, and with 4 impact, I don't have one crafted, but they land right here inside this tunnel where they're gonna keep dying by the wall darts here, and the gas trap and retractable. Then this sound wall, gonna have the double reload, and for durability, this is for any propane that managed to escape in here. Then we get to this box and all the propane system. On this one and this one, I'm using with 1 reload and 5 durability. Then on these two, it's gonna be with double reload and for durability. And here I'm using the next fastest one with 1 purple reload. And on this one, you can use either the purple reload or you can use with the blue one. Up to you. Both should do pretty much the same. Then all the gas traps, in case I forgot to mention, it will be just the same as other ramps. Rating, double crit damage, and effect duration. Then all the single electric fields are gonna be the same, just rating, double crit damage and damage. Nature if possible, but you can use energy as usual. Then it's gonna be important that we're using these edited walls, because if you don't path them on this side, those ceiling electric fields wouldn't hit the husk. For example, if they are walking on this half, those wouldn't trigger. But if you're pathing them that way, they are inside the trigger range of these ones, and they will be hit by 2 ceiling electric fields at the time. And here I'm using just a pillar, because once you start the defense, here there's gonna be one of those fragments that Outlanders can pick up, and that would actually block the pathing of the husk if you are using one of these walls. They would get stuck a bit here and they don't like it and start punching. So I'm just keeping it as a pillar like this. Then this one, you can either keep it like the others or add a reload if you want. Like this, for example. This could hit any husk that made it to the top of this ramp. But usually the tire traps should keep them all there. This one, it's important that you place them facing the amp. I'm just gonna place them like this. That way, when you place them like that, they're gonna push us this direction. You could also place this one looking at that way, and it would push the husk into this tile. and this one looking that way, and you will push has from here to here. The same on this side. When you place them looking at the amp. And that way it pushes the has this way. And then we get to the damage tunnel for the bottom part. Here I'm using another sound wall with double reload and for durability. This is in case in a wave like wave 10 that there's a lot of propane. If any has like was launched from there into the pit and got here and still has a propane, this should drop it. And I'm using a pillar just to make sure it has more chances to be hit by it. Otherwise, it can walk here really fast and don't get hit by this angle. Then these ones, I'm using one with one reload and one with double crit damage. One of these and one of these. Here the usual rating double crit damage. Same on these two. And the same crit bill on this one. Then we have one with a reload and one with double crit damage. One with a reload. And all of the orders are the same perks as the others. And the same crit ceiling sappers here. Here we have one pillar just to make them path here and really get hit by these two. And get hit a bit more by the golden floor spike. Same here, this is just to make sure they path up to the middle and get hit by the wall dart and the dynamo more consistently. And a pillar just so this wall dart can hit them more consistently. Now, another thing that we are doing here is that when we're pushing them with these launchers and, well, the other launchers here and at the end, we're placing these two walls here. And what this does, it's making them path in the water. And as you can see, the water makes you go really slowly compared to just running in the sand. So they take a really long time to walk up to that ramp. Here you could add a few more walls if you want, like for example, like this, just to make sure they don't climb onto the sand and they take even longer walking into the water. And that's up to you if you have the tiles for it. But that makes this like a half recycling build and half damage. You could also just build the damage tunnel here, but it would use much more durability on those launchers and, well, the whole tunnel. If you want more combat score, you would place the damage tunnel here. But if you want a more reliable build, you want to path them here, just making them walk a really long time before getting killed. That way less hulls are gonna spawn and you will have a lot less problems. Now, a few more things to keep in mind. I'm not blocking anything here because there's a couple spawns from the ramp amplifier that are here and here. And then there's a few on this side that would break any Blockoff you put there. You could put some Blockoff here, for example, but then any has that spawn here is either gonna break that or break through here. So it's much better to just save the tiles and not place anything. If you have any has trying to break through there, you could, for example, just put more Blockoff here, like with runs on this spot. But I haven't had any problems with the Blockoff like that. Then another thing could be a random flinger that's somehow throwing at the amp from a place I didn't cover. But I haven't had any flinger issues since I extended the lower shield up to this style. There used to be a couple lovers that were standing there and throwing from there, but this one should stop them. If anything, you can just extend it a bit more. Or, well, here. But I believe this is all it was needed. Then here they shouldn't be there ever. Because when they spawn on this side, they all want to come inside the tunnel. And they think they can throw like from here, but they really can't usually. Or you can edit it, this one like that if you're worried. And they don't throw from that little space. Then smashers might make it like to this style, and this should push them. But there should be enough damage in the tunnel just to kill them before they run out of pushes available. Like they should get pushed once by the wall launchers. That would be one hit. Then maybe a second hit by the broadsides combined by the tire traps. That would be 2. Then maybe once more by the 3 wall launchers. And then if anything, they get stuck here and by the wall light. And it should be plenty of recycling times to kill any smashers. If the smasher makes it out, it's gonna be breaking these walls. But eventually it's gonna try to charge through these walls, and it falls to the pit by themselves. So there shouldn't be any issue with that. Certain combinations of modifiers for the miniboss can actually make them not dance and start breaking. But that's usually Y27, and you should be here at that point. But 90% of the time, the miniboss should just stand still without breaking anything. Another thing about the miniboss, in case the miniboss has the modifier of damage pulse, you shouldn't place, for example, wall darts or any other traps that can damage the miniboss here. Because since it's gonna be stuck next to the amplifier, damage pulse can actually damage the amplifier. And every time the miniboss gets hit by a trap, it's gonna start damaging the amp. So that would make you lose eventually. If it takes too much damage from the traps, it's gonna keep hurting the amp until you lose, pretty much. So that's why I don't have a wall dart here, even though it's like in a really good position to kill anything that made it out of the tunnel. Now, well, I give a couple more views from above, just in case you needed to check if you build the whole lower shield correctly. Sometimes in waves like wave 10, that there's really tons of propane. Maybe this chamber can explode a bit. That's why we have so much damage inside of here. But usually the tire traps should hold most of the huts and make them die inside of that chamber when they spawn here. And well, the recycling is really strong on this side. Also, the reason we're using this ramp instead of anything else, if you place a full floor, it's gonna break from spawns here, so it will get destroyed most of the time. And sometimes an edited floor like that can work, but also there's a rare spawn like here, and also can break it. This one should never break, and a ramp like this should keep it safe. Like this one shouldn't break from spawns. So that should be everything. So good luck building it, and see you with the next upload.